what I want to talk about here for a few minutes is simply, do your clients know what you do? Do your clients know what you do? And what I mean by that, I want you to put your thinking cap on just for a second. I think it sounds very like an obvious question, right? And I think as an industry, we think, you think, and I think our clients really know what we do. When I say that, what services are you offering? Just last week we had it come up from a client. We were doing a renovation for them. We were going back, doing the power seating side of the renovation, finishing those up. Actually, we finished those up Friday. It just amazed me when she brought up the question of, well, actually, here's how it came up. It really wasn't a question. It was more of a statement when we were there finishing the property up, when somebody else pulls up, that's giving her an estimate on fertilization and weed control applications. And we're like, all right, first of all, we've talked about this before. We're not going to get mad at the guy that pulls up, but that's something, we'll talk about here in a second too. How do you handle that when you pull up and another contractor's there? There's a more professional way to do it than just park and get out and walk up to the front door. But why did she not remember? And it's not her fault. I'll go ahead and say it because I can hear you saying it already. I can hear you saying it. I can hear you thinking it. Saying, well, what's your fault, Wayne? She didn't know you did it. But what I know is when I personally talked to this lady, I explained to her that we suggest on lawn renovations that they let us do their lawn maintenance from a fertilization weed control standpoint for at least 1 year. Because when we go and we renovate a yard, we kill it out, we seed it, I need to know what's going down on that property from a fertilization, weed control, and pre-emergence standpoint. I want to be the person that's in control of that. Do you feel the same way in the renovations that you're doing? That you want to be in control? If I'm going to be responsible for the establishment of that lawn, then I want to be the person that's in control of that lawn. So I know I talked to her about that. I know that the gentleman that went out to talk to her and actually sold the job to her talked to her about it. But she forgot within a few days. She had just moved into the house recently. It's one of those situations. We can all relate to that. So she had selective memory on it. So at the end of the day, she thought she needed somebody else to do her lawn applications. We got it resolved. We're going to take care of the loan applications for her, is how the story ends. But the most important thing out of this is, what are you doing to let your customers know the different services that you provide? Because I guarantee it's happened to you just like it happens to us. Something simple that I got a few simple suggestions. And this still isn't 100% foolproof. But, we're constantly trying to think of ways to have our customer, buy from us. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But before they can buy from us, they need to understand and know what we do. So something simply that you can do that doesn't cost you a penny, doesn't cost you an extra penny, is simply list the services that you provide on all of your invoices that go out. We have a section down at the bottom of our invoice right below the total line. And maybe we're just naive to think that they're looking at that. But what I do know is occasionally off that tear sheet, we'll get back something, that bottom part of that invoice that says, hey, I'd like to get an estimate on, and they've got something circled. Mulching, hedge trimming, landscaping, whatever it may be. So that's something that you can add to the bottom of your invoice that doesn't cost you a penny more to let your customer know that these are the services that we provide. Just, it's simple. It'll work a little bit, but it's not fail safe. So my whole point to that is add the services that you list those services at the bottom of your invoice so your customers get at least, depending on your invoicing, at least a monthly reminder. And I know some of you guys are billing weekly for your services, and that's okay too. But they get a regular reminder of what you do. Something else simple that you can do is simply carry with you in your truck. And this is just something so easy, it's crazy. But simply carry with you in your truck as you're driving around, or if you're a larger service, have them in all your trucks. But a flyer, just a simple flyer. We call them flyers. Some guys call them handbills. Just a single sheet of paper that you can leave with that customer. If you see them, hand it to them. If not, stick it in their paper box or something. We can't put them in their mailbox, right? But just leave it on a seasonal topic, maybe. Hey, maybe right now it's aeration and leaf removal that's coming up, okay? Or fall fertilization, or whatever service you're wanting to promote at a given time of the year. You're already at the property. You see your customer most of the time, and if you don't, that's okay. Then leave it on site with them just as a reminder. Hey, we're coming up on the time of year for this. Or, hey, this is something that you can do now, in the fall or spring or summer. It's just a good reminder, and you're going to be surprised at the number of people that will call you off of that if you have to leave it. It all goes back to we've got to inform our customers. They've got to be reminded on a regular basis of what we do, because if we don't remind them, what are they going to do? What are they going to do if we don't remind them what we do? You know what they're going to do. They're going to call somebody else when all of a sudden it pops into their mind when they see their neighbor getting something done. Oh, I need to have that done. Well, Wayne's mowing my yard, but that's probably all they do. I'll go see these other guys across the street, or I'll call those other guys across the street that I saw providing that service. And that, I think, is where a lot of times, it just goes sideways. It just goes sideways. So, what else can we do? There's lots of things we can do that don't cost you any more money. And quite honestly, not just your client, but how about the neighbors? How about the neighbors of the client? Thinking about that side of it. All right? Are you forgetting about the neighbors? We're constantly branding. Make sure your customers know what you can offer, what you can do. There's a lot of constant contact emails can be sent out. There's a lot of texting offers that you can do. Just keep your name in front of the customer, without a doubt. And it doesn't always have to be something that you're going to sell. It's not always something that you're trying to sell. We've got an email fun fact that goes out once a week, but it's not always about selling your customer something as much as it can be just informing your clients.